Hi, I'm Courtney, and thank you for coming to my channel. And let's just jump right in. These are five. I'm going to be looking down. Sorry, my apologies before. I have my notes down here. These are one, two, three, four, five. Five reasons that you seem to be getting in relationships that don't work, or you continually get into relationships that don't work. And let me tell you a little bit about myself really quickly. I am 40, 40 something, 45, let's just say that. 45, and I've dated quite a bit, but I've only been in four serious relationships, and they've all been really long, from like 3 to 7 years. So I've learned a lot throughout the years, and I wanted to be able to share that with people. And one thing that I really noticed is that I seem to have been getting into the same relationships over and over and over in similar situations. And I'm sure there are more reasons as to why this happens, but I have five through my own self reflection that I figured out that things that I do or things that I may have missed and getting into these relationships that I continually do or have done in the past, because we're speaking life over our futures, right? So that's not going to be going forward. I would advise that you take some time to self-reflect as well and see if any of these resound with you and your spirit. And if they do, great, take action on that. And if they don't, then what came up for you? Like, I really want to know what came up for you when you took a minute to just get quiet, to get still, maybe sit in a dark room and think about your past relationships and why you seem to be keep getting the same type of guy, or getting into the same type of relationship, or into relationships that just don't work out. So let me know in the comments, because I really would love to know. So these are my five. So the first one for me, and possibly for you, is that I in the past did not pay attention to red flags. And I know that's quite obvious, but it's something that we hear all the time, and it kind of goes in one ear and comes out the other, because I've always done this. Like, I've always done this. When I think back to it, it's like, I saw that in the beginning. Like my last relationship, you guys, I was in my late 30s, 35, 36 when we started dating. So you would think by this time I would have gotten it right. But he told me, I think most of the women that he dated, he cheated on. And guess how our relationship ended, you guys? And he was older, like a lot older than me. So, and I think in my head I was like, okay, he's older, so he's probably past it. And you wanna think the best about people. So I understand that. And people can portray themselves as something else. But sometimes you got to pay attention to those red flags. And now that I started dating again, I took a break, a year off of dating, and I talk about that a little bit. I'll tag the video here somewhere where I talk about that and why I took a break off of dating for a year. But now that I'm starting to date again, y'all, I got some stories. I got some stories to tell you. But one guy, he presented something to me, and it was such a red flag. And I was really feeling him. Like, we had talked for a little while. We had great conversation, you guys. But I just couldn't do it. I was like, you know what? I can't. You got to go. So yeah, going forward, I know that if I see a red flag, I'm heeding it and I'm out, no matter how much I like that guy. And if it's a yellow flag, okay, I'm gonna keep that in the back of my head though, because if a yellow flag can turn into a red flag real quick. So keep that in mind. Are you not paying attention to red flags? And then paying attention to them, but also taking action on them. Are you not leaving if you need to leave because of that red? If it's a big red flag, then get out of there. It's only going to get worse. The second thing I would say is that, I don't think I got attached too quickly, but nah, I didn't. But I allowed, The second thing would be getting attached too quickly. And I don't think I necessarily attach to people too quickly because I'm an introvert more so, and it takes me a while to open up to people fully. But what I did do a lot of was fantasize in my head about how the relationship would go, and I got attached to that. And how I wanted to go. So even if the person presented a different scenario or a different person to me, in my head I'm still like, well, we could still do this. Like, we could still have that wedding. Like, one of my exes, he didn't even want a wedding because he had been married already, and he didn't want a wedding. But in my head, I'm like planning our wedding, and we were just on totally different pages with that. And I mean, we talked about marriage and stuff, but he wanted to go down to the courthouse, and I wanted to have a big, well, not a big wedding. I don't want a big wedding anymore, but I wanted to have a wedding, you know, because I was like, it's not fair, because, you know, you mess up and married somebody. I should still be able to have my wedding. But, you know, just not getting attached. Don't get attached too quickly. If you want to watch another video that I made about how not to get attached too quickly, then I'll link that one too in the description too. So another reason would be not really getting to know the person. So not asking the right questions. I talked about this before in one of my other videos, but not asking the right questions. Like I said, you know, getting to know what that person does, how much money they make, what kind of car they drive, where they live. That's all great information to have. But you want to ask some other questions. You want to go a little bit deeper. You know, do you have any addictions? Have you had addictions in the past? Is there a history of mental illness in your family? Are you mentally ill? Are you taking medication for something? You know, those are kind of deep questions. And I know someone that, do you guys watch, okay, do you watch, there's a show, 90 Day Fiance, that I watch, and Stacey and Darcy. And, well, it's like a spinoff of 90 Day Fiance. And the woman, Darcy, she met this guy, Georgie, and they went out on 2 dates, you know, slept together, whatever. And then they came together, they quarantined together. And she found out during quarantine that he was married. Like, these are questions that you should be asking somebody prior to, you know, prior to doing all that. So asking the right questions is crucial in, you know, getting to know that person, if they're honest. And if they're not, that even is telling, because if they lie to you and you find out later, then that's not the type of person you want to be with anyway. You know, like, I have a friend that found out that their husband, now husband, has another kid by someone else, and he never told her. Like, so, I mean, it's unfortunate that they're already married, but she knows, like, kind of what kind of person that is. People change, they do, but yeah, you want to ask the right questions. You want to get to know the person. And also, I guess this is like a part B to this. You want to see the person for who they are. So you don't want to make up somebody in your head based off of what they have told you. You know, if you see certain actions, like if someone tells you like, oh yeah, I'm like super punctual, I'm a man of my word and all this, but he can't even remember to call you at a certain time that he said he was going to call you, or, you know, or show up where he says he's going to be, you know, or help you with something that he says he's going to help you with, then he's not, his words and his actions are not matching up. So ensuring that that person is the person that they say they are, and is not just somebody that you're listening to and you're making it up in your head. So make sure, I don't know if that makes sense. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. Oh, I'll save that one for last. Oh, this is one thing that I didn't do. I never do. But I'm going to going forward. They don't, like, I didn't listen to wise counsel. So with one of my boyfriends, it's bad. I keep saying one, but this is mostly the same person. But one of my boyfriends, I'm going to say that. My mom didn't like him. My cousin, through three of my cousins did not like him, and they were men. They didn't like him. They told me, well, my mom and one of my cousins told me Two told me after. No, I had 4 cousins that didn't like him. 3 told me after though. So I was like, why you didn't tell me before? But even if they didn't tell me before, I probably wouldn't have listened anyway. But I don't know. Maybe it was just a man thing. They could sense, the playerishness. I don't know. But they didn't like him. But they had talked to him and things like that. But they just were, I guess he just rubbed them the wrong way or something like that. So I was just like, whatever. Well, I like him. But I didn't even give it thought as to why, they didn't like him. And I just should have listened more to wise counsel. And another thing with that relationship too is that his family kind of tried to warn me. Well, if you have somebody's mama, somebody's friends telling you, so you might want to not date this person, you might want to listen. Especially if his mom is telling you that, you might want to listen. So that's all I can say about that. And so the last thing is that you don't take time to work on you. So this comes back to me taking a year off of dating. I took some time to work on me. And I had some insecurities. I had some, and they're still there. I'm still working on them, things like that. But I'm a lot more secure in myself. I got therapy, things like that. So I would just advise you take some time to work on you. Read a good book. Let me show you the book I'm reading now. One of them. Okay. If you're anything like me, you're reading about 4 or 5 books at one time. But this is one book that I'm reading now. Marshawn Evans Daniels, Believe Bigger, Discover the Path to Your Life Purpose. And so far, it's really good. If someone sees this like orange in my hand, it's henna. I did henna my hair and it looks so red. Like I'm looking at it in the camera. Does it look crazy? I hope it doesn't look crazy. I am on page 123 and it's really good. She does have a workbook to go along with it. I don't have the workbook. It keeps selling out. So I'll probably get that eventually. I wanted to have like a book club with that book or something like that. I wonder if one of you guys would want to do that with me. But but I really hope these tips help with you find yourself continually getting in the I won't say wrong relationships, because I even think that the wrong relationships help grow us. We grow from our trials, we grow from our failures the most. We learn from them. Life is a lesson. Life is school. We're here to learn. And I've learned a great deal from my past relationships. So even shifting your mindset a little bit to think about your past relationships, the people that you've been in relationships with, even if they did you dirty, they were dirty dogs, they taught you a lesson and they probably learned from it too. So maybe going forward, they won't be like that as much. Maybe, I don't know. But I hope this helps a lot. Bye.